Smiles all round. Welcome back. Hopefully you are buzzing after a beautiful weekend. The Boks did their part. They wrapped up their opening test block with a dominant 55-10 win over Georgia, who made them play in Mbombela over the weekend. A night of debut tries, a couple in fact, for each. Ruan Nokia, masterclass. And of course, Fana Merva, double act stealing the spotlight.
Absolutely. But listen, with bigger tests ahead, there's a lot to reflect on.
Yep.
So we got to unpack the win and what it means for the road to the rugby championship. So we're joined by none other than our family member, Good Hope FM sports presenter, Adrian Edley, in the building. How you doing, bro?
Oh man, I'm great. It's
coming
been
with
such
smiles.
a good weekend.
Can we just say congratulations to the under-20s as well?
Oh,
because I feel
yeah,
like we're just
man.
losing our minds and not mentioning them.
Jeepers, that was
13
incredible.
year drought, I think. Incredible. So well done to them and, of course, inspired by the Springboks. Where do we begin? Obviously, a Fana Merva double act, Ruan Nokia. I mean, and it's so nice to know that we have got back up in that position, or maybe a star taking centre stage in that position. But what stood out the most for you? There were so many highlights, man.
Again, so many highlights. But I think the biggest takeaway is definitely how much depth we have in the squad. I mean, we spoke on Friday about, is it a risk, starting these three very inexperienced in the front row? And I mean, they performed amazingly. It just shows that our front row is the most important thing to us.
They were try-scoring machines. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So even these, newbies are able to perform in such an amazing way.
Yeah. And I got to say kudos to Georgia, because for me, just looking at that front pack especially, they were stacked, man.
Yeah.
These look like European Fijians, like a hybrid of sorts. And they really brought it to South Africa, especially on the breakdown. And you saw a couple of moments, there wasn't pure domination. They brought it through. You could see that battle was breaking down in the ruck as well. Something to learn from this? Is it's not the same Springbok front pack force we're seeing, or is it the fact that people are catching on to us?
I think definitely, if you look at that first half, for example, I mean, by the time it was halftime, they were only trailing by 15 points.
Yeah.
That first half was a lot closer than I think any of us thought it would be. But I think that's just a symptom of, when you're so good as a team, people will look at a massive win like this and still try and find some errors. But look, obviously there were going to be mistakes. This was, like we said, a very experimental
it's a testing
team.
period,
Yeah, and I think these few games were always going to be experimental. So I'm not too concerned from what I saw.
We've seen Argentina do that to us for years. Just slow down the breakdown and it looks like everything's falling apart. And it's a very negative way of playing rugby. But again, kudos to Georgia, because they did have some positive elements to how they played. They really punched above their weight class. Let's talk about the nice problems that Rassie has now at number 9.
Yes.
How do you keep Grant Williams out of that side when you've got a wing in that half-back channel? I mean, he offers you a dynamism that is just off the charts.
Yeah, definitely. I think when the series started, we had people like Morne van der Berg. He was sort of...
And he looked good.
He was spoken as to be the next, sort of scrum half. But
incumbent.
Grant Williams, come now. Like he was saying, speed, he has the kicking ability, the passing, he was setting people up like it was nothing. A big headache. Also, especially when Faf came on, he also performed really well. I mean, Faf is a very good option off the bench as well. So that's definitely a big headache. Who's going to play the number 9? There's so many
that's
options.
A nice problem. Would the number 9, being as dynamic as he is, can that throw your number 10? Because Sasha might have been one of the weak spots by his unbelievable standard.
Yeah.
Do you think that had something to do with it? With so many young players trying to prove themselves, they need to be sharing one mind, not looking for gaps, or am I completely off the mark?
No, I think definitely the role of the number 9 is changing now. And I think that the number 10 needs to adapt as well. Because in the past, the number 9 sort of doing what the number 10 would have done as well. And I think we did see Sasha struggle. He likes to sort of trail off to the wing, sort of find some space to run in as well. But they were very dominant against him in that position. I think Grant sort of capitalized on that. On his lack of chances, he was able to capitalize.
So he saw the gap,
Listen, we've got a tough decision to make here, and luckily this is Rassie's and not ours, because we've got to find our force. We've got to find that first team. With all these youngsters coming through now, making these big statements, fighting for their positions, what would you say, Adrian, would be some of the top choices of these youngsters that you'd want to keep in the squad? We had that start. We had Vincent Chichuka, Edwin van der Merwe. We've got all these players standing up saying, I'm ready to take that number 1 spot. In your mind, who's really been a standout over these past few games, and who's going to be not making the cut? That's a tough one.
No, this is really so tough. I think obviously Grant Williams is definitely he's in contention to be our starting scrum half. People like Vincent, Chichuka in the first 2 tests as well. I mean, we haven't seen him now for 3 matches, but he's been brilliant. I thought he was absolutely brilliant playing in that number 7 role. Obviously, going to be hard to take.
Building throughout the season to this point.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
momentum there. Yeah.
Exactly. No, Edwin van der Merwe as well, challenging for that wing position. Honestly, even our debuts in the prop department as well. I mean, dominant, absolutely dominant. So as you said, I'm glad I'm not making this decision because I don't know where I would go, honestly.
I'm just thinking, how does the bomb squad fit into this new dynamic, man? I'm trying to understand.
A whole bomb squad, bro.
Rusty, we feel your pain, but it's all the right kind of pain. Such unbelievable squad depth, but I think it speaks to the amount of work that's been invested in South African rugby in key positions over the last few seasons. Absolutely amazing. So well done to the Boks, well done to the Junior Boks, and good luck for the Rugby Championship. Oh boy.